I slammed the door of my truck. So hard the side mirror rattled, the dust swirling around my boots as I stood there, staring at the brand-new steel gate blocking my driveway. The thing looked like it had been plucked straight from a military checkpoint. Triple padlocks, bright yellow warning signs, fresh well marks. It wasn't some government installation. It was my land, my home, my workshop. And yet, I was standing on the outside, looking in like some kind of intruder. That's when Cheryl Maddox appeared, stepping out from behind a bush with her ever-present clipboard in hand. She was the president of our neighborhood HOA and the self-declared guardian of aesthetic cohesion. A woman who once fined a guy for planting marigolds because they clashed with the HOA-approved hydrangeas. She smiled at me like she'd just won a trophy. "You can't access this road anymore," she said, her voice dripping with satisfaction. "The HOA vote passed while you were gone. Your industrial vehicle violates Article 12, Section B." She didn't say truck like a compliment. She said it like it was some kind of disease. I blinked, trying to process what I was hearing. I just returned from a week-long off-road rally in Utah, dust still in my hair, adrenaline still buzzing through me. And now, I was locked out of my own property because my truck, my pride and joy, was too ugly for her HOA newsletter. "This is my land," I said, my voice low, frustration starting to boil over. "I paid for that road, I paved it, and I've maintained it for over 10 years. She didn't flinch. Instead, she pointed to a laminated sheet zip-tied to the gate. "This road is now designated a visual hazard control zone," she said, as though she were reading from some kind of zoning law. "You'll have to contact legal." Legal. This was the same woman who had once canceled the HOA holiday party because someone brought green tablecloths instead of ivory. Now, she was playing zoning lawyer. Thing is, this wasn't just about the road. It wasn't even about the gate. This was about Titan, my hand-built 7-ton monster of a truck. A beast I'd spent years fine-tuning. Giant tires, a custom-engineered engine, matte black paint with red detailing. She wasn't just a vehicle. She was a monument. And Cheryl hated her. She complained for months, wrote warnings, filed noise complaints, claimed Titan was aggressive landscaping. She even tried to get her listed as agricultural machinery. When I went out of town, she saw her opportunity and took it. That night, I had to check into a dingy roadside motel 20 miles away just to get a signal. I called Nate, my old Army buddy, now a property rights lawyer. I sent him photos, maps, every document I had. Nate called me back, furious. "This isn't just an overstep, man. She's filed fake easement claims. The HOA has no jurisdiction there. But legal action takes time, and Cheryl's betting on delays. She thinks you'll fold." I didn't plan on folding. Over the next 3 days, I prepped Titan. Full systems check, polished the armor, installed GoPros, set up a speaker system and a camera mount. As I worked, I gathered footage. Trail cams showing HOA landscapers dumping soil on my driveway to make it look overgrown. One of them even muttered, "Cheryl wants this grass green for her next HOA picnic." By Friday, the neighborhood rumor mill was running full steam. Cheryl was calling me a threat to community safety, claiming I was planning some kind of violent protest. She even posted a video of herself standing in front of the gate, lemonade in hand, like she was some sort of martyr. "We must stand firm against intimidation," she said in her video. Saturday morning came, and I rolled up slow. Titan's engine hummed like a predator stalking its prey. The gate looked even more ridiculous in the daylight. More locks, more signs, and now a community security guard standing like he was guarding Fort Knox. I stopped 10 feet from the gate and let Titan's engine growl a little. Then I hit the speaker system. "This is private property," I said, my voice clear and calm. "This gate is an unlawful obstruction. You have 60 seconds to vacate." Cheryl, standing on the other side with a wine glass raised, smirked. "You're making a mistake," she said, her tone dripping with false superiority. I revved the engine. "I already made one," I said. "I trusted you." People started stepping out of their homes. Phones were pulled out. Kids whispered among themselves. It was like something out of a movie. Then Titan moved. Slowly. Purposefully. The steel gate met the steel bumper with a screech. There was a pop, then a crack. One of the padlocks shot off like a bullet. The second one groaned and snapped. The whole gate collapsed forward with a wet, cardboard-like thud. For a split second, there was silence. Then the sound of Titan's engine roaring to life again, my truck cutting through the wreckage like it was nothing more than a pile of scrap metal. Cheryl stood there, her wine glass still raised in shock, her smirk completely gone. The rest of the neighborhood stood in stunned silence. No one moved. No one said anything. The community security guy was the first to react. He started to walk toward me, but I was already in the truck, pulling slowly through the debris. Cheryl didn't try to stop me. She just stood there, her arms hanging limp by her sides. As I rolled past her, I caught a glimpse of her face, a mixture of disbelief and fury. Titan roared down the road, my pride and joy once again free to roam. I didn't need to say anything. The damage was done. I parked my truck, climbed down, and handed Cheryl an envelope. Complaints have been filed. I told her, the county inspector will be here within the hour. If you or your board so much as touch my property again, we escalate to federal court. She didn't respond, just stood there, staring at me, her clipboard trembling in her hands. By evening, the video of the gate takedown had gone viral. Nate, my old buddy who now worked in media, had put together a clean edit with timestamps, drone footage, and some legal commentary. We titled it, HOA Tried to Lock Me Out. My monster truck had other plans. Within 24 hours, it had over 500,000 views. People from all over sent in their own HOA horror stories. Even the local news picked it up. Cheryl, once the queen bee of the neighborhood, had quickly become the punchline of the joke. She tried to hit back, sent me 3 citations totaling over $4,000,000. My favorite? Visual disruption of community landscape. I printed every citation and stapled them to a presentation board. At the next HOA meeting, I walked in with it, placed it in front of the board members, and watched them squirm. None of them could meet my eyes. Still, Cheryl wasn't done. 2 days later, I walked out my house to find little pink flags all over my lawn. Survey markers for yet another beautification project. I tied them all into a neat bundle, taped them to Cheryl's mailbox, and added a sticky note. Wrong property again. But I knew this wasn't over. So I planned something bigger. I called it the Freedom Lap. I filed for a permit, got approved, and invited the sheriff's office, the fire department, and the whole neighborhood to a barbecue on my property. It was fully documented, fully legal. Titan would do one slow, respectful lap around my land. Nothing more, nothing less. The turnout was massive. People brought lawn chairs, side dishes, even their kids. A couple of board members showed up, quiet and apologetic, looking embarrassed. When I climbed into Titan and took that slow crawl around the border of my land, people started clapping. It was like Independence Day. One little girl, perched on her dad's shoulders, shouted, "Go Titan!" I waved back. I didn't need to say anything. The message was clear. Cheryl's blind stayed shut the whole time, but I know she was watching. A week later, the real hammer dropped. The county launched a full investigation into the HOA's finances. Turns out, Cheryl had reclassified funds to build the gate under the pretext of emergency drainage, and had signed off on it using an alias. That alone was enough to get her barred from holding any leadership role within the HOA. And then she cracked. One morning, I woke up to find her SUV blocking my driveway. She was standing beside it in a bathrobe, arms crossed like she was some kind of statue. I didn't hesitate. I rolled Titan forward until the front bumper kissed her rear fender. Then I flipped on the speaker system. "Move your vehicle in 10 seconds, or I'll call the sheriff and file for obstruction." She moved that afternoon. Later, I received the official notice. Cheryl had been removed as HOA president. Her access was revoked, her authority stripped. By the end of the month, her house was on the market. Word is she's looking at gated communities now. Guess she needs new gates to control, now that hers is nothing but scrap metal. We got a new HOA president, a kind woman named Sandra who actually listens. She even asked me to speak at the next meeting about fairness and property rights. I declined. I'm not looking to be anyone's hero. I just want to come home. And that's what this whole thing was about all along. It wasn't about trucks or gates or HOA bylaws. It was about being pushed off your own land by someone who thought power made her right. It was about standing your ground, no matter how loud they talk, how many fines they print, or how smug they smile. These days, Titan sits quietly in my driveway, clean, polished, and majestic. I haven't moved her since the barbecue. She doesn't need to prove anything anymore. Her message was loud and clear, but I still keep her fueled, just in case someone else with a clipboard gets brave. Now, let me ask you, was I right to fight back the way I did? Did it go too far or not far enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've ever stood up to an out-of-control HOA or want to tell your story, I'll be reading every single one.